Every once in a while, a customer will ask for something that you just can't deliver. In many cases, the reason you can't deliver it is because it may be against company policy, or it's a product you don't support or sell, or maybe it violates a regulation or a law to comply with the customer's request, or it simply may be unethical to do so. But even in these cases, our goal is still customer satisfaction. And it's easy to let this kind of situation work against that goal by allowing ourselves to become a dead end to the customer when we tell them we can't fulfill that request. So you'll need to take some extra measures here in negotiation with the customer to reach an acceptable resolution. Here are some tips for doing just that. First of all, resolve to find a solution for the customer. Remember, one of the personal development goals we keep coming back to is breaking the mold of being an order taker for the customer and instead becoming a true value-added business partner to the customer. And remember, the customer's need is still legitimate, even if the specific request may not be. So make the distinction here between what the customer is requesting on the one hand and what it is they actually need to stay productive and to accomplish their goal on the other. And the way to do this is to determine the customer's underlying need. For instance, say the customer is requesting that you provide access to an unsupported product or one the customer isn't authorized to use. By probing the customer a little bit and asking why they think they need this product, you'll soon discover what their underlying need is. You may uncover that they're actually trying to do their job but are simply unaware of the other options they have to stay productive. Let's say they brought in some files from home, and those files are in an unsupported format. And that leads them to request access to a non-standard product. They may be completely unaware of the fact that you can help them convert those files to a usable format and one that uses an authorized application. Now, we could have said no to the customer request and left it at that. But the customer still has the same need, and by saying no, we become a dead end to the customer's productivity, and our reputation for customer service suffers as a result. One way to soften the blow when you have to tell the customer no is to begin the response with a conciliatory phrase, such as you may be aware, or our records indicate, or even the simple word normally. For instance, Mr. Customer, as you may be aware, that product requires manager-level access. Can you give me a little bit more detail about why you might need this product? Or, John, our records indicate that your department doesn't authorize access to that product. If you can elaborate a little bit more on what you're trying to accomplish with this product, I may be able to suggest an alternative solution. Or, Susan, normally we prefer you use product XYZ for this. Can you help me to understand a little bit better why you think you need product ABC? Phrases such as this imply the customer is reasonable enough and informed enough to know this must be an unusual request. And when you speak to the customer in this way, it allows the customer to respond without becoming overly defensive. Now, once the customer explains what it is they're trying to do, the next step is to acknowledge the benefit of that idea. Mr. Customer, I can certainly see how having access to XYZ product would help in this case. But then immediately explain your concern with the customer's idea. My concern is this type of request generally requires department head approval, which could take several days if it's approved at all, and it sounds like you may need a solution sooner than that. Then offer your alternative. Mr. Customer, if you'd like, I can walk you through how to convert those files to a format that would work with our standard products. That way you can continue working on them and not have to wait. And then get agreement from the customer that this is the right course of action. Mr. Customer, would you like to try that first to see how that works? Now, in some cases, the customer won't accept your alternative, and when that occurs, you may need to transfer the call to a supervisor or escalate the request to someone else who may be able to help them. Mr. Customer, it looks as though I've exhausted my options for this request. Would you like to speak with a supervisor? Or would you like me to escalate this request to see if we can get approval for it? Remember, the key to dealing with this type of customer is not to become a dead end. Always become an avenue to a solution, even if you yourself can't provide that solution. If the customer perceives that you're actively looking for an alternative, he or she will be much easier on you in the end when you simply cannot find an alternative solution. Well, that wraps it up for this issue of the Support Edge video blog, but be sure to read the associated article on the SC Inc. website for more details. Until next time, be sure all your support initiatives are customer-centered, performance-driven, and outcomes-based.